Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Patience is a virtue, and in my 31 years of living on this globe, I don't think patience has been one of my virtues. It's a work in progress, it's something I'm working on, and as I get older and more mature, I'm certainly getting more and more patient. But while I don't necessarily possess the skill of patience as I'd like in my real life, in the world of politics, I'm extremely patient. I guess I apply a more rational, non-emotional approach to my political worldviews and analysis. I just know that it takes time, it takes time for the pendulum to swing, it takes time for cultural change to really materialize in significant form. I've been saying forever, give it time, eventually we're gonna win, especially on some of these cultural issues. And well, folks, it seems like it's happening. We've seen some leftoids defend and justify some of the most insane crap you could possibly imagine, and I guess it was only a matter of time before their own people, their own politicians, their own allies started to turn on them, and that's exactly what's happening, folks. It seems as though Democrat politicians are starting to wake up as 14 elected state Democrats in New Hampshire vote against their own party on the issue of gender transition surgeries for minors. Hallelujah, folks. There may actually be some hope, and we may actually be seeing a cultural shift. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so here's the video that's going mega viral, and of course with good reason. This is State Representative Jonah Wheeler. Take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that reminder. I rise today despite the uncomfortability of this vote, because for me, it comes down to whether or not kids should be able to get these surgeries. And despite the fact that I am a liberal, despite the fact that I believe in non-discrimination for trans people, for gay people, for queer people, and that I will fight until my very last day, until they are recognized as human beings. The question before us is whether or not children under the age of 18 should be able to get these surgeries. And I, despite being a liberal who believes in those human rights, do not think that is the case. And when the question is put before me, and I spoke to people until 11:30 last night, lobbyists, different stakeholders, people with firsthand experience, lived experience, and I've been speaking to people for the last 4 weeks about this bill. The only argument against it being that this opens the amendment specifically opens the door to other bad trans bills. But folks, the slippery slope fallacy I don't think applies here. We're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, and they should not. These are irreversible surgeries. And despite the fact that there are medical exceptions which are included in this amendment, when people have problems with their genitals that need to be addressed, that should be addressed. But when we're talking about whether or not kids should get these surgeries, I think that goes a bridge too far, and I will not be signing on to that. So I will be supporting this amendment, and I appreciate the work done in the Health and Human Services Committee. They worked very diligently, and if you want to watch legislating being done in real time in a really good way.
Sometimes I see a lot of doomer takes, I see a lot of black pill in the comments section on Twitter, and I'm not going to pretend as if I don't understand the sentiment. My avatar on this YouTube channel is literally Wojak Doomer, but on this particular issue I had faith from day one, because it's just basic common sense. The concept of greenlighting bottom surgery for minors being a winning political issue for Democrats is just never going to be the case. The problem is, the reason why people haven't soured on Democrats and completely turned on them is because most people don't even know. The Democrat establishment is purposely deceitful. They pretend as if it's right-wing fear-mongering. That's not really happening. Well, of course it is. In fact, we know Joe Biden even said it on the debate stage, or I think it was during a town hall.
Do you think states should have a right to ban gender-affirming health care?
I don't think any state or anybody should have the right to do that. As a moral question and as a legal question. I just think it's wrong.
It's obviously a mainstream idea, and the more it becomes an issue on ballots, or the more legislation comes up for a vote, the more it's going to damage Democrats, and even Democrats know this, that's why they're voting against it. Here's the final vote tally in New Hampshire. House Bill 619. The bill was titled to require a person to attain the age of majority for genital gender reassignment surgery. This was a bill presented to the House by Republicans, and the final vote tally shows that 14 Democrats sided with Republicans, agreeing that anybody who makes this kind of life-altering decision children must be an adult themselves. You know, it's really an issue of parental rights. There's a couple Democrat arguments, Chris Christie made the same one, as well as that other clown, Mike DeWine from Ohio, that the states shouldn't be dictating how a parent raised their child. Yeah, if we're talking about a parent deciding whether to homeschool their child or send their kid to school or whether they can give their kid Dr. Pepper before bedtime, then whatever, okay? Obviously, the government shouldn't be involved there. But if we're talking about mutilating your child, I mean, there's only one description for that. It's called child abuse. And the government serves a role to protect children from this exact kind of thing. There's that argument, and then there's the other argument that, oh, well, it's so exceedingly rare. It was in the past, but not so much these days, as numbers show a sharp increase in frequency of different types of gender-affirming surgery undergone by transgender and non-binary minors over the last couple of years. Look at that increase from 2018 just to 2021. It's become a social trend or social contagion, and it also opens the door for abusive parents to psychologically manipulate their children and even physically mutilate them. That's obviously not okay, and it's the government's job to step in the way and say this has to stop now. And what we need to defeat this evil is a bipartisan consensus on this issue, because we are fighting a significant, sizable evil right now. We're fighting the medical establishment with all the might of that dollar, lobbying to allow these procedures. And these medical organizations are going way too far. Here's an internal training video that shows Cincinnati Children's Hospital training doctors on how to circumvent parents who don't support sex change procedures. Supposedly it's about parental rights, except for when the parents don't support the procedure, then the hospitals are going to work to circumvent the parents. How utterly ridiculous. Every Democrat argument related to this topic is disingenuous, deceptive, and I'd argue evil, and most importantly built on a mountain of lies. They lie about everything. They lie about the outcomes of these surgeries and medical interventions and affirmations. It does not achieve the result that they claim it does. It doesn't magically solve depression. In fact, there's some studies that suggest quite the opposite. They lie about everything, including puberty blockers, hormone suppressors. I don't know what the actual drug is called, whatever the substance is called, but what I do know is that they lie about it. They claim that hormone suppressors are totally reversible. Yet I've read countless studies that suggest the exact opposite. There's a study here, which I've listed on the screen, that suggests hormone therapy in minors can reduce a patient's IQ by several points, and I've read countless studies and anecdotes suggesting that puberty blockers specifically are not reversible. In some cases, these children are put on them only to learn later in life that due to the medical intervention, they're no longer fertile and they've lost their ability to have children. You know, we have to have an honest conversation, and clearly when it comes to the facts, this is a mostly bipartisan issue. The more exposure, the more Democrats will start coming on our side. 14 Democrats vote with Republicans to ban genital sex change surgeries for children. And mark my words when I tell you, this is just the beginning. Common sense in the end, I believe, will prevail. I can't possibly believe the alternative, because the alternative is simply just too dark to ever accept. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys on this one. Overall, good news. Sad topic, unfortunate topic, but good news in general. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.